Hello, it's Claire here from JH Coaching. I turned 40 in June last year, so I'm approaching my 41st birthday. I've never really thought about age very much, but sometimes, especially when it's a hard session, I do sometimes wonder that maybe I'm a little bit too old for this. I only think that fleetingly. Most of the time I really enjoy running, and I've also really enjoyed running with lots of people who have been masters runners for a long time, and actually I'm really inspired by a lot of these people. So when people ask me whether they're too old to run or they're too old to do a trail race, my answer is really that I don't think it is about age when you're running trail races, or any race for that matter. I think it's about fitness to do the job. From my own experience, I've run alongside some really great under 23 runners and some really great Vet 50 and Vet 60 runners, and been beaten by them too. If you have a look at the picture up here, this is a picture of some friends of mine back in 2015, and we'd gone over to the Isle of Man to do a British Fell Running Championship race. All the runners in this picture were masters runners, ranging from Vet 40 right through to Vet 70, and in fact they all had better races than me on the day. I certainly have also learnt a lot, even as a much younger athlete, from older, more experienced runners, mainly from the fact that they have a lot of training experience, so they certainly know what works for them and what doesn't work for them. But also in terms of races, they've often done lots of races before, so they can give me some really good helpful advice and tips about various races. If you look back again at the picture, I certainly learnt a lot from going around various routes, race routes with my friend Adrienne, and without him I certainly wouldn't have done as well as I have done in some of the races I've recorded with him. So if we're thinking about age and trail racing, age is definitely not the factor. Fitness is the main factor.
You would be mistaken in thinking that once you reach the masters category or you're over 40, that means that you're past your best and unable to compete with the best. If you look at these race results from the Championnat de Canigou in 2018, you can see that in the top 10 finishers there is a Vet 40 and a Vet 50 runner. Equally with the women, and in fact more so, within the top 4 female finishers there are 2 masters runners, again a Vet 40 and a Vet 50. So as you can see, being past 40 certainly does not mean that you are past it when it comes to running, and in actual fact you can still compete very highly with top runners.
So that's all very well and good for people who have lots and lots of experience in races and have done lots of races throughout their life. But what about if you're just starting racing? I certainly have met people who have started racing in their 40s and 50s and still really enjoyed it and done really well. Perhaps the approach to training needs to be a little bit differently, because when all's said and done, whether you're just starting out training or whether you've been training for a lot of years, you certainly can't train like a 20-year-old or a 30-year-old could do. But that doesn't mean to say that you can't get fit on the training that you do and do very well off it. So there's lots of different ideas floating around about training as a masters runner, but ultimately it's about training within your own fitness levels and your own abilities and working out what works for you. So I think traditionally a lot of the stuff that I read suggested that doing lots of long slow miles was a bit of a waste of time for veterinary runners, but my own experience of that is that it can work really well for some people and not so well for other people. So it really is about trial and error and finding out what works for you to get yourself fit for your first trail race, whether you're 35, 45, 55 or 65. In actual fact, I've certainly been to races where there have been some Vet 80 runners, which has certainly inspired me. I certainly hope to be running well into my 80s and enjoying the sport. The other great thing about running as a masters is that it creates a new challenge. So whereas some people are always keen to know how they've done in the race overall, there's all the races within the race where you're racing against people of your own age category, and that can be just as exciting and interesting too. So my friend Jill, for example, was the Vet 50 champion for the British and English fell running champs way back in 2014, I think it was. And that was a goal that she had and wanted to achieve, and by God did she achieve it. She certainly did better than me that year. So whether you're just out to race because you want to enjoy some countryside, maybe enjoy socialising with other runners, or whether you're out to race to see how well you can do against competitors, whether that's competitors your own age or even younger, trail racing, I would say, is definitely something for everyone. The real issue is about making sure that whatever race you choose to do, you can train for it and complete it at a level that you enjoy. If you liked this video and you'd like to see more videos like this, then do subscribe to my channel. If you hit the bell button, then you'll always be notified if there's a new video coming out and you'll never miss one. Thanks, bye!